So I'm going to walk you through the instruction for how to do this first intro video. So recording a video for this class, we give you some requirements here for, you need to be the main character. It should be you speaking, right? Translators are welcome. When it's due, now remember that, and I talked about this in the start here, the importance of submitting by that Wednesday, because again, I use this as your attendance, but also it gives a chance for students to reply. So you want to make this between 2 and 3 minutes, right? And you're going to share this out on the cloud somehow, and I'm going to go over 2 options and actually a third conceptually for how you could do this. And the thing about doing it the way I'm going to show you is it sets you up for other work in this class that you will also want to use cloud storage for. Right, so state your name, describe why you're taking the class and what you'd like to get out of it. Share something you enjoy about online and your career goals. Okay, so you can use whatever you want. I mean, like I'm on my Mac and it has a built-in webcam. Most computers do, but obviously you could do this on your phone. The type of file it creates is really based on what you're using. A very common file is called an MP4. I'll show you how mine looked in a minute. Okay, so first you create the recording itself, which is probably the most nerve-wracking part of this. If you've never done it before, I totally hear you. First time I recorded myself, it was not fun. So now once you get that recorded and you're ready to share that with the class, here's the setup I recommend. Again, I'm walking you through this with the intention that you'll use these folders in whatever cloud service you want. Or in this case, I give you 2 options. There are obviously others out there. So yeah, I'm assuming if you know how to use something beyond your built-in OneDrive on your campus email or Google Drive, that you know how to do what I'm about to show. Okay, so we're going to create a folder in your cloud service for, and I give you some examples here. And the reason I say this is I like to give folder names what they represent and in this case, a course. So you can follow that if you want. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just giving you suggestions. First, let's set these up. So the 2 most common, as I said, is Microsoft's OneDrive that comes with your campus email. So once you log into your campus email, you should see it. Mine is going to look just a little differently because when you're working at City, your interface will look the same, but some of your permissions is a little different. Okay, but you log into your OneDrive. Now, if you're going to use your Google Drive, I suspect you've done that before, but you log in and then you can just either click on the icon inside your Gmail or go to drive.google.com. Okay, so at this point, oh, by the way, you could also just upload it directly into YouTube as well, and I show how to get an unlisted URL so that once you create it, only people with the link will have access to it. And that's another way to do this as well, because many times our phones can record a video and upload it there. So the thing is, you have options. I recommend using one of these 2, or YouTube, whatever you want. Okay, so let's actually walk through this first on OneDrive and then on Google Drive. So I have already my OneDrives open here. I'm going to create now a folder. So I would create a folder over here. I'd go over to the plus. I'd say CIT48ASP24. Right, create. Cool. So now I have that folder, and now if I click into that folder, I would want to put that video here, right? So if I was on Google Drive, something similar, very similar. New folder. Now again, I've moved over a tab. Now I'm on Google Drive, but the same concept is, right? SP24. Cool. Create. So now I have that folder, so I'm inside that folder in both of those 2. So now wherever you create your video, like I said, wherever you record it, now you're going to want to upload it into one of these or use YouTube. So in this case, I already have the video I've created, and here's a fairly common file extension. Hopefully you've heard that. The extension here indicates what type of encoding the file has been encoded with, because raw video, as you may know, is very, very big. So in this case, there's a couple things I could do. I could add over here. I could come over and do file upload. That'd be fine, right? Over on Google, I could do a similar thing, file upload. I could also just, and this is fairly common, just drag it. And when I do that, now I'm in Google, but I'm guessing the same thing is going to be available to me on OneDrive. But it'll take a moment, it'll upload it, and then boom, there it is. Over here, let's see if the same thing happens where I can just drag it. Most more current, most commonly used cloud services allow you to do this concept of dragging into the folder. Okay, so now that you have them, now this is where they start to get a little different. And this is because of their different ways they're set up. And in this case, what we want you to do is create a link so that anybody with that link can view it. Now, because we're taking a cybersecurity class, we do have to specify that you should never put any link that's not reputable inside of Canvas. So what I'm about to show you is based on the assumption you will not put, given again that you're taking a cybersecurity class, some of you come in with existing knowledge and understand that this is also often where people get in trouble because they don't click on links for looking at where those links are going. Okay, so I just want to preface what I'm about to show you to say we all agree we're only doing safe links in this class. Okay, so I'm going to do it first on OneDrive. So over on OneDrive, in here there's this thing that says share. I think you can also do it here. Let's see, share is here, right? So you can click share, or you can just click this little arrow and then you share it. So in this case right now, by default, which would make sense, right? Nobody has access to it over on your OneDrive. So what you can do here is you can go into your share settings, and this is where our campus has it kind of interesting the way it's set up. But I'm going to set it so that anyone with the link, right, they don't necessarily have to be logged in, they should be able to view this, because it's fairly common. This kind of link is like, no, only people that have it. Now, can it get out in the wild and anybody see it? Sure. If you go viral, I can't tell you that wouldn't happen. But so now once I do that and I click, in this case on OneDrive, I hit apply. Okay, it's kind of interesting because I actually can come back in here. Yeah, I see it. It's still there. And it says anyone with the link can view. Now when I was in here and here, notice it applied it, but it didn't give me the link itself. So I could copy it at this point, okay, because anyone with the link should be able to view it, and then I should be able to copy it. And notice when I do that, it actually then adds something down in here. So you actually have to do that step right there, okay? And that's an important step on OneDrive. And now what I like to do, because I don't trust OneDrive sometimes, I will get out and I will come back in, right? And I will come down here. And when I'm here, I go to links. And this link seems to give me the most consistently shared correctly output, or URL in this case. So I'm going to copy this, okay? Now before I go to Canvas to share it, and again I'll stop out when I finish this demonstration into Canvas, then I'll go do the Google side, which is honestly much more straightforward. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to copy that URL. Now what can I do to test to see if this URL is actually shared correctly, meaning anyone with the link not necessarily having to log in? So I can come over to, and in this case I'm using Chrome, but all modern browsers have something like this, where I can say new incognito window. Which, by the way, you may have heard Google got in a little trouble because this incognito window was not really incognito. But okay, now I'm going to paste that URL. And if that's shared correctly, in this case, then that video, which in this case it did, will show up. And the reason that's true and the reason you want to test that is because incognito supposedly is not in any way logged in. So it should test that concept if you set that link up correctly. Okay? Now, we'll do that in Canvas in a minute, and I'll just leave this open so we have it. Now, let's move over to Google Drive. If, in case you're using Google Drive, in this case, I could, let's see, in Google Drive, it should be easier, I said. Here we go. So actually, it's here, and I can hit Share, but I know it's somewhere else. I've seen it, but let's just hit Share. So what I did here is I came over to the 3 icons. We often call it a hamburger. It's called different things, but I hit Share and I click into Share. And in this case, I'm going to restrict this to anyone, again, with the link. Cool. And then I can just copy that link. And then I'm done. Now, again, I want to do the same thing where I go over here. I hit New Incognito Window. I paste that URL. And if I shared it correctly, I should be able to play that. And again, this is a way you're testing to see if you did this step correctly. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of there. So I realize that on both of these, I have shared it correctly. And now I'm ready to share it in Canvas. And I'm going to come over here and grab the OneDrive one. It doesn't really matter. So now you come down here, again, look at this video if you want to use YouTube. So what you want to do here, right, and this is where, you know, we've agreed, right, we're doing what we all agree we're not doing malicious links into Canvas. Because you might think, and this is, you know, actually I should do it this way. I actually am intending, let me copy this here. Oh, that's interesting. It's actually not grabbing. Let me see if I can do that again. Paste. Oh, it's not. Interesting. This may be Canvas changing here, which would be interesting if Canvas did this. Like, because if you do this, like when you're in here. Now there could be various reasons that you could not necessarily see this same output, but if you click on, and this is good, link options, what you'll notice is the link is actually that long, and we often call this a very unfriendly link. Now the good news about this link is that you can see exactly where it's going, okay, which is good. You always want to know before you click on something where it's going. But now what Canvas did is it actually, instead of just copying that long URL like that, because it saw that I was pasting it, it automatically pasted it here. There is a chance when you do this, depending on your setup, and you know, again, I'm assuming this is Canvas, but it may not be. It could just be a combination of things. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it with the Google one. I'm going to come in here. I already have. I'm going to copy the link just to see. Oh, interesting, right? This is so... Let me get out of here. And you're not hearing this, but in my ear I am. So notice what the Google URL did, right? It gave us that long URL. And in this case, I'm guessing there's something about the way the Canvas or the Outlook, Microsoft, in this case, is sending a particular type of, when it pastes it in. So, but here's what I want you to know. I want you to actually make the text, right, like my video. Okay. So if that other link comes up, let me just click off of this. Yeah, there we go. Right? Name it something like that, just because these are more friendly links. But again, right, you should, and when now you're going to do a little writing in here, but when you post that reply, okay, which I will do just for kicks here, notice when you roll over links, which hopefully you know about this, that you should always, when you roll over links, to see where the URL is actually taking you. And these links should open in a new tab to where when a student comes in, they should be able to hear, just go in there and start playing it. You can also set it to automatic play as well. But anyway, long way of telling you and walking you through how to set up the Microsoft site, the Google site, and again, if you want to use this here, right? So make sure you also, in addition to this, do the replies. Remember, the replies are not due by Sunday, but the sooner you get them done, the better. And I will actually go through and read them periodically, almost daily if I can. And so if you've done your replies, right? I will actually go ahead and grade it. Okay, I hope this video, I know it's a little longer, but hopefully it'll help you understand some of the, the things you'll need as we move forward in this class.